See if Claudia says we're live.
Not yet.
Excuse me?
It's live now.
Okay, we are now live, so if we can take the roll call for the open session, please.
Lennon.
Here.
Ramirez.
Here.
Reardon.
Here.
Fate.
Here.
Santoy.
Here.
Ruiz.
Here.
Avila.
Present.
Noack.
Here.
8 present, Mayor.
Okay, so we have 2 items on the open agenda here. Dave Hallsberg will present those items. David?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Back in 2019, the BDC and the city came into an agreement where the BDC would market the Roosevelt Road property on behalf of the city. What the agreement didn't provide for was the ability to go ahead and pay off that note. So as you recall, when the city bought the property located at 6935 Roosevelt Road, which is adjacent to Culver's, they took out a loan through the BDC and since that time have been paying interest-only payments to the tune of $1,250 a month. The TIF revenues have been coming in well. Last year we had anticipated in paying down $150,000 on that $300,000 loan. However, again, as I said, when we re-baselined that TIF and took the non-performing parcels out, we were able to incur and create greater increment in that area. So we ended with the fund balance last year of $322,425. That puts us in a wonderful position to go ahead and pay off that loan right now at $300,000 rather than paying the interest-only payments, which come to some $15,000 a year. So I'm before you this evening looking for direction and then placing this item on the City Council agenda to go ahead and pay off this note of $300,000.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
Yeah, that parcel, it wasn't just that small parcel, it was for the whole Culver's thing?
No, the $300,000 was just for that, what we call the green lot right now that you see out there. That's what that $300,000 represents. We do, as I've shared with council in the past, we do have some interested parties we're still working on for the development of that site. And hopefully we'll get something soon.
So, we bought it with anticipation of developing it, is that what we did?
Yes, I think that the city looked at it for several reasons, but namely one for economic development purposes down the road, that the city wanted to control it rather than have others control that property.
Okay, so this was never included with the deal when we did Culver's?
No, I believe there was another structure on this property that the
Okay.
city demolished.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, so Dave will have this on the agenda in 2 weeks, Dave?
Tonight.
Oh, it's on tonight?
Yeah, it's on tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, and then you have one more that's also on tonight.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This next item is for 7050 Ogden Road. We were approached by Berwyn Kia, also known as 750 Ogden LLC, to go ahead and look at their property because they were seeking to relocate and move out of Berwyn. They have identified a property in Countryside, and I'm sharing that property address with you at 6420 Joliet Road. The property there that had taxes in 2019 of some $61,000, land area of 109,000 square feet, and a building of about 21,000 square feet. Their Ogden property here, taxes were nearly double that amount at 123,000. The building size was almost less than half of that size, and the square footage of their property was again about half of that size. They indicated that they were seeking really from the property tax issue, they were having significant reservations. So we communicated and looked to try to come to some agreement that would make sense for the city and make sense for them. So what we came up with as a recommendation coming to council and seeking your feedback this evening would be, and while this may sound complicated, when we look at this graph that's shown on this memorandum, it helps make it much clearer. It's taking the base of the 2016 property taxes and say from that year to whatever the present year is, that incremental difference in property taxes is what they could seek a rebate from the city based on the fact that their sales tax from the year prior of whatever year it is, that it had increased at least as much as what was occurring. What that then does is the way the agreement is structured, it protects the city that each increase that occurs, we capture in the following year, and the developer, or Berwyn Kia in this instance, doesn't go ahead and get to claim it. So let's look at some examples here. So if you looked at what I'm representing as 2021, the property taxes were $125,000. The maximum incentive that they could receive between that and the difference of the base would be $25,000, okay? The previous year's sales taxes was $200,000. The current sales taxes would be $225,000. So the incremental difference then would be $25,000. So you could see in that example, and this is just an example, it's not real numbers, it would show that they could go ahead and receive the $25,000. But in that 2022 year, you could see that the number of sales tax is now the 225 number, and we're representing that they only made $10,000 in sales taxes. Well, they could only then get a $10,000 towards their property taxes. And there are continued examples there of representing to you that the city gets protected of its original base and any increase that occurs after that. And this was a way really to influence Berwyn Kia to say, stay here, we appreciate you. They are one of our major taxpayers in the community, and they did have a prior agreement which had expired with the city, and that was when we had a tax increment financing district in that zone. But that is no longer the case. The TIF has ended. The only tool to really look at to play ball with them would be a sales tax sharing agreement.
Alderman, is this one you questioned about doing two motions?
Yes.
Well,
So, right?
You should only need one.
Well,
'cause
you got the tax share agreement. and
Well,
then you have
but the ordinance encompasses tax share
okay.
agreement. So if we adopt the ordinance, that's adopting the tax share
Okay,
agreement.
okay.
Any other questions, though?
Yeah, did Kia, when they opened up, did they get that TIF funding from us?
Yes, when they opened up, they got, I want to say about 235,000 plus. I can pull those numbers and send them to you. I don't have them top of my head, but at least that amount they received in TIF increment.
Okay, and are they saying that they're not making sales, is that because of COVID, or is it just in general?
No, they're saying actually they're doing well. The issue that they have is that this is a smaller property. When they went looking in the marketplace to find a bigger piece of property, they found that they could go elsewhere, pay less in property taxes, and get more land area and more building. And they came back to us and said, you know, we're really serious about leaving here. What can the city do? And so this was an effort, you know, that said, you know, roughly $30,000 a year they could be eligible for receiving, provided that they create more than $30,000 in the year prior. And there is a clawback provision. So if they left prior to this 10-year period, we would go ahead and say, guess what, you're going to have to give us money back. And that's written into the agreement. Their prior agreement that they had with the city had the same language in it.
Is that prorated, Dave, based on how long they stay after the agreement is
That
made?
would be correct.
Okay. And then do you know if they've ever appealed their taxes to see if they can get a lower tax base?
I asked them about that. They said that they had in the past, and I'm sure that they would continue to do that, and there's nothing in the agreement that would prohibit them from doing it.
And so if they reduce their property tax rate, it doesn't necessarily impact the sales tax agreement.
Correct. If they lowered, well, that would be less that they would be able to get from us. So let's imagine that the the 2016 base, I don't know if I have that number here, was, I'll just use it as an example, was $100,000, okay? And now this past year was $120,000. And then they were able to lower their next taxes to $110,000. We're only comparing between 2016 and today. And that number would have gone down, so they would get less of an increment.
Sure, and thank you. What's confusing to me is that I see the property tax in the first column, and then I see that the property tax is what, the sales tax is what fluctuates in column 3 and 4. And so, I don't understand what the relationship between their assessed value for property and the sales tax. It isn't, there's no direct correlation, is there?
There's no, well, the only direct correlation is that's the funding source that's going to give them the difference between for the property tax between the base year of 2016 and the present year of today. So it's just the tool that's being used. But there's not any other correlation except to say that's what it is.
So, thank you. I understand that. Just one last hint. The last column is the amount of incentive paid, and that is exclusively based on the sales tax, increase over the last year's sales tax. And whether that's, if they don't increase sales tax from the previous year, then there is no incentive return to them.
Correct.
And it has no impact whether the county, in their wisdom, reassesses their property or 4 times as much next year. This is what's binding.
Correct.
And this
What's
is-
binding is they've got to go ahead and do better than what they did the year before. And if they don't have a year that's better than the year before, they get nothing.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, and I've talked to them several times, and I've talked to the BDC about this as well. I mean, they are looking for additional space as well. I know they're using some of the parking lots here and there to, store some of their vehicles. So I think in the future, we need to just continue to try to work with them and try to find an area within our city that they can, either purchase or stock cars and stuff for them.
Yeah, it's a very crowded lot.
difficult-
It's a very crowded lot.
Yeah. I mean, we're landlocked, so it's really difficult, but.
But one of the things we do annually is reach out to the major property taxpayers and the major sales tax players to make sure that business is going well and what can we do to assist them.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, then that's on again for tonight. So we have no other items for open. If we could have a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole.
So moved.
Second?
Lennon by Reardon, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Aye. The camera will stay on, so we'll be back at 8 o'clock. Thank you.
Edgar. Yeah. He's doing good. Anxious to get COVID over. He wants to get together, have some snobby beer.
Go, man.
I think
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
he's
thank you.
grown. He's matured. Yes. Yeah, well, I went over to his house because talking to Joe, and we stopped there. Winnie answered. Nursing home, so probably why he reached out.
These were up for discussion today. He was granted the
You,
authority to
you do know that your conversations are
They
recorded.
haven't been settled,
Okay.
okay? If it gets settled, if it was settled, it would be put on like they were looking.
Just FYI, guys. Everyone can hear everything everyone's saying.
Tony? Yes, ma'am. Can I chat with you for a second? Sure, So, I won. I already swore him in. He's already working. Okay. So, because his date of hire was, Tuesday. Okay. No, this is Tuesday. It was last week. So, just kind of make something up and concur.
And the training going well?
Concur with prior to.
Okay,
We're not gonna swear anybody.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know.
And you know what, Mark, I feel like I can take email from the office, so that's why I posted that on the phone place, because they confirmed that the
Yeah.
98 said it was okay, that's the
Yeah,
only reason
it's
why I posted
just, it's just really crazy. And
Yeah.
finally we got it.
Okay.
It's all set. Because we hadn't gotten the final okay from Prairie.
Okay.
They were, but I made it that to see, yeah.
Well, yeah, because on that Friday, Sandy sent me an email saying that District 98 said it was okay, that, you talked fees, that
Yeah.
that's the reason why I posted it, because I thought it was enough.
It all worked out. There's always gonna be a glitch, but there you go. I'm Margaret Paul, I'm the city clerk, so I'm gonna be swearing you in on one of these. Oh, I know. Very good. Just wanted to catch your signature. And if you could sign your name on both the dotted lines. Great, so you're going to get this piece. Yes?
3 minutes.
Told Mr. Treadwell. Unfortunately, it's not a perks card. No punches. But we're very happy to have you. Thank you so much. Oh, and then what usually occurs is that I announce F4 and I announce that it's going to be a attorney, and then the mayor invites you over and then this is where you live. And do you have anything against Marion that you will put on? Because some people are just. Thanks very much. Are you gonna bring forward any of these things? Who's in charge of tonight? Well, we've got a proclamation, we've got some swearing, we got a lot of swearing occurring tonight. Where'd F3 go?
Yeah, I'll bring forward all this. Okay. So you make sure you get it.
Well, I'll be ready for that.
The fire kid's not coming.
He's not, no, I already
I
swore
seen
him in.
some on Facebook.
Yeah, I already did it.
So just these two. Then we got appointments for 2 here.
Alderman Avila, are you back on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Clerk
you.
Paul, can we call the council meeting to order, please?
Alderman Lennon?
Here.
Alderman Ramirez?
Here.
Alderman Reardon? Alderman Fate?
Here.
Alderman Santoy? Alderman Ruiz? Alderman Avila?
Present
Alderman Nowak?
Here.
8 present, Mayor.
remotely.
If we can all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and please remain standing. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could all keep in our prayers tonight, the family of James Nolsky, he was a former radio operator here at the city of Berwyn, who's recently passed away, and Coach Ken Geiger, who coached, who's lived here his whole life, coached Morton East and West for 34 years here in Berwyn. If we could keep their families in mind, as well as all the men and women we have on the street tonight. Thank you. Does anybody from the audience wish to address the open forum? Nobody from the audience? Clerk, you have, I believe, some letters.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I received, let's see, 17 emails today requesting to be placed on the record for open forum. The first one was a press release by Rizoma Collective dated January 26, raising concerns about the promotion of Detective Green due to multiple lawsuits filed against the detective alleging wrongful arrest, use of excessive force, civil conspiracy, other violations that the city paid to settle. It stated that Detective Green participated and defended excessive police presence at Berwyn's first BLM rally, that Green has a documented history of harassing Berwyn residents online who practiced their right to free speech, and the press release asked the council to vote against the promotion and urged Berwyn residents to speak out on the topic. Mr. Matt Williams wrote that the details of the Rizoma Collective press release was enough to vote no on the promotion of Detective Green. Mr. Williams goes on to state that on October 21st, he alerted Mayor Lavero of the repeated harassment by Detective Green of a Berwyn resident. The mayor responded that he would look into the matter further and make sure the following necessary protocols were in place to address the issue. Mayor Lavero expressed his appreciation for all you do to keep our online community civil and safe as the administrator of a local Facebook group. Mr. Williams feels that his message was seen and then ignored. Thank you, Mayor Lavero, for finally answering my question. It would appear that the protocol for a Berwyn police detective being reported for verbal harassment, in addition to the many other concerns, is a recommendation for promotion. This is unacceptable and must be voted down by the members of City Council. Ms. Kayleigh Navarette urges the council to vote no due to costs of taxpayers and paid out settlements and a pattern of behavior targeting Hispanic Latino men. Ms. Emily Karim writes that she has reviewed the court documents available to the public online with regard to Detective Green and is disturbed to learn he is up for promotion. She is concerned for the safety of Berwyn residents and the fiscal costs of promotion. Ms. Beth Laurel writes that given the poor public performances of Detective Green personally and professionally, including but limited to the settled cases and vitriol toward Berwyn residents and other questionable behaviors, it seems better time to invest in accountability than promotion. If we as a city are truly aiming to do better and be better, let our public record prove it. Promotion can be addressed later after plan for improvement. Perhaps revisit the adoption of 8 Can't Wait and set sound policies for police force accountability. Ms. Sabina Kraus wrote about the information she had read about Detective Green, that it is critical to prove
the good standing of this officer, that she has read allegations of unnecessary aggressive behavior, interacting with residents, and of the taxpayer funds used to settle the lawsuits. She writes of concern that this type of, that this type of behavior, if not addressed, will cost the taxpayers more. Promotion would signify it's okay to act this way. Mr. Jose Garcia copied the Rizoma Collective press release, and he asks the council to vote no, as he is against this type of behavior. Ms. Sheila Balecki asks that we move forward and not have she asks that we move forward and not have the systemic racism here that plagues the country, and we must show that this is not to be tolerated from anyone to anyone in our government, schools, and health institutions. Ms. Christy Millette Nichols. Ms. Nichols writes to council to vote no on the promotion of Detective Green. She cites the settlement of multiple lawsuits, harassment of residents on social media. She asks how are Berwyn residents supposed to trust the David Green that will protect us when he treats us with disdain. Ms. Vanessa Avalos states that she heard about the several lawsuits Detective Green was involved in. As a mother, she's very upset and believes that Detective Green is a liability to Berwyn and an expense of our tax dollars. She asks the council to vote no on the promotion. Berwyn residents are fighting for the future of our children, so our beautiful black and brown children can live and have successful lives. Mr. Kevin Monday wrote in that this administration claims to be wanting to build a relationship of trust between the Berwyn Police Department and residents who haven't felt well represented or equally protected here. No actions are taken for meaningful change. Tonight, you are to endorse and celebrate the promotion of an officer who's been subject to several lawsuits, and many of us have seen him harass our neighbors on Facebook. Is this moving Berwyn forward? What are your words tonight? What are your actions? Please reconsider the promotion until and unless it can be properly vetted in relationship to responsibilities toward community policing. Ms. Marisol Brambilla writes, asking Detective Green not be promoted. She's learned of the lawsuits filed against him, and that is concerning when it comes to his character and ability to serve his community. The fact that he's being promoted is an indicator of the lack of values and leadership in those responsible for this. Rocio Hernandez writes, urging the City Council to vote no on the promotion of Detective Green. He continues that Detective Green has a clear history of misconduct, which it costs taxpayers money, and has clear and documented harassment against community members online. How is this behavior acceptable? Why continue to reward negligence and disrespect for our community? This is not the vision I have for Berwyn. Cassandra Gonzalez writes that council should vote no on the promotion due to the history of subtle cases and online harassment of Berwyn residents practicing their free speech. The promotion is against the well-being of Berwyn community. Jessica Lane urges no vote by council on the promotion of Detective Green due to the multiple documented lawsuits. Berwyn is a great town filled with many diverse walks of life. The promotion would contradict the diversity achieved. Vote no and consider promoting more proven, progressively qualified persons. Zachary Taylor writes that Detective Green's pattern of behavior is unfit for the rank of sergeant. Detective Green earns more than 94% of the Berwyn Police Department. He is being compensated for his leadership, yet he spends his time on social media calling community members and disparaging names. This shows he doesn't understand the seriousness of his position or what it means to be a leader. Mr. Taylor urges the council to vote no. Lastly, Ms. Luz Chavez wrote in. She's writing to ask a vote no on the Police and Fire Commission recommendation to promote Detective Green to the rank of sergeant due to the history of multiple lawsuits filed against him. It's disturbing that someone with such a troubling history is paid a six-figure salary and is being recommended. Please vote no to Green's promotion. Be transparent about the state of Berwyn Police Department's treatment of community members. Release all lawsuits and settlement amounts. Evaluate and revise the criteria and process for recommending the promotion of police officers, determining how a police officer is in good standing. Implement safeguards to avoid this from ever happening again. Implement a social media policy that prevents city workers and public servants from harassing civilians online. Thank you.
Okay, my comment on open forum is that the social media seems to point all these lawsuits directly at Officer Green.
Is it on?
Pardon?
Is yours on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Logan.
Okay, so my comment is that the social media seems to appoint all these lawsuits strictly at Officer Green. There were several officers listed in those lawsuits that were on social media. Several officers were listed, as they normally are in these types of cases. So to say that Detective Green cost this city money, he and he alone, is misinformation. However, his unwise comments on social media perturbed me also. And to comment to Mr. Matt Williams, I did address that with the gentleman. He did it on his off time, so there's nothing that I can do as the city with respect to his conduct, but I told him that it was unwise and it ceased. He did exercise his right of his First Amendment right of free speech, just like other people are doing on social media, but I thought it was an unwise and not a very appropriate choice of words. So that was discussed with Detective Green, and that has ceased. That's my comment. Anybody else have anything for open forum? Hearing none, can we move on to item C1, please?
C1 are the minutes of January 12, 2021.
It'll be my motion to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting of January 12th, 2021.
Second?
Motion by Fate, seconded by Lennon, to approve the city council minute meetings of January 12, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have to take roll call now. Okay, item E1, please.
Item E1 is a communication from BDC Executive Director David Hulsberg regarding 6935 Roosevelt Road loan payoff.
It would be my motion to concur with staff recommendations at the BDC that city council authorize $300,000 in Roosevelt Road TIF proceeds to be used to pay off the existing loan of $300,000 with the BDC, fix the necessary signatures, and place its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Noack, seconded by Ramirez, to concur with the recommendation and allow the city council, authorize the city council to authorize the $300,000 TIF proceed payoff to the existing $300,000 loan with the BDC for 6935 Roosevelt Road. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item E2, please.
Item E2 is a communication from Mr. Hulsberg regarding 7050 Ogden Road with an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the City of Berwyn to enter into a sales tax sharing agreement with 7050 Ogden LLC to provide economic incentives for the continued operation of a car dealership within the City of Berwyn, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
I will make a motion to approve this ordinance, fix the necessary signatures, and send it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Noack, to concur with the recommendation, adopt the ordinance for the tax share incentive with the 7050 Ogden Avenue, affix the necessary signatures, place it on its way to passage. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item F1, please.
Item F1 is a proclamation honoring Carl Rana. Would you like me to read it?
I think it deserves it, please.
Yes. Whereas on December 23rd, 2020, Mr. Carl Rihanna decided to retire as a commissioner of the City of Berwyn's Fire and Police Commission. And whereas Carl Rihanna, since 1978, has honorably served the Fire and Police Commission, being responsible for the review of testing and hiring of every police officer, paramedic, and fireman in the City of Berwyn. And whereas Carl Rihanna Sr. began to involve himself in Berwyn's community organizations when he became one of the founding members of the Italian-American Civic Organization of Berwyn. The IACOB first met in the basement of Carl's home at 13th and Ridgeland until Carl, using his home as collateral for a loan on a building, assisted with the purchase of a storefront on 16th Street to house the organization. With over 45 years as a charter, the IACOB continues as a social, cultural, and charitable organization committed to many civic charities and events. And whereas Carl Rihanna Sr. also donated hours of his time and committed his talents to the organization of the Hobie Day Parade and Festival, along with Berwyn's Summer Fair. And whereas Carl Rihanna Sr. also has served Berwyn, participating on various municipal boards and committees over 51 years under 5 different mayors, and also within numerous community organizations and schools. This includes reviewing applications and conducting interviews for over 8,000 applicants and presiding over 70 promotional exams of police and firefighters. Therefore, I, Mayor Robert J. Lavero, and Alderman of the City of Berwyn, congratulate Carl Rihanna on his 43 years of service on the Fire and Police Commission. The City of Berwyn recognizes the honor in having such a dedicated individual in its community.
Mayor, it'd be my motion to adopt the proclamation and thank Mr. Rihanna for his 43 years of service here to the City of Berwyn, and authorize the corporate authorities to fix the necessary signatures and place it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Fate, seconded by Nowak, to adopt the proclamation and thank Carl Rihanna Sr. for his 43 years of service to the City of Berwyn, affix the necessary signatures, and place on its way to passage. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Real quick, I'd like to just thank Carl Rihanna Sr. I've sat on many of the same boards and committees that he has, and it's been an honor to learn from him and serve with him. Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item F2, please.
Item F2 is the appointment of, Daniel Treadwell to the Fire and Police Commission.
Mayor, could I ask a question on this one?
Sure.
So, looking at Mr. Reyna's qualifications, and then Patrick Washington's, who's the next person's qualifications, I looked at his resume. Yes. I looked at his resume, and what makes him qualified? I mean,
What makes Daniel qualified? What makes Daniel
yes.
qualified is the fact that he's been a Berwyn resident for many years. He's raising a family here. It makes him qualified in that he has a different a sight of where we're trying to get to with our police department. He has a different sight of people that we're trying to reach out to, so we can encompass the diversity of our community and get people to fill those jobs on the police and fire departments that we've been unable to reach. Daniel's got that insight. I met with him several times, and I learned that Daniel is a very observant young man who has that insight to bring that forward to the commission and the city.
okay. I just wanted you to clarify that, because looking at the resume, it just mentions, physical fitness and gym stuff, so I just wanted to see
Well,
that.
plus that he's also very physically fit. He's good at that, too.
All right, so aye. I'm good.
We need a motion, right?
Oh,
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion to concur with the appointment of Daniel Treadwell to a 3-year term as Fire and Police Commissioner effective January 26, 2021.
Second.
Motion by Nowak, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the appointment of Daniel Treadwell to the 3-year term as Fire and Police Commissioner effective January 26, 2021. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Daniel?
Hi, Mr. Treadwell. Please raise your right hand. Do you, Daniel Treadwell, having been appointed to the Police and Fire Commission in the City of Berwyn and the County of Cook aforesaid, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the Police and Fire Commission according to the best of your abilities. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Daniel. Item F3, please.
Item F3 is the appointment of Patrick Washington as the mayoral liaison to the Commission for Lateral Hires of Police Officers.
I will make a
I have a
motion.
question. Mayor,
Yes.
can you share a little bit about what this commission is? I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, so underneath the new contract, there's a section, we had lateral hires before, but we've never had this observing commission. So underneath the new contract, the Police and Fire Commission has some of their members to be observers. But as the mayor, I have a liaison that can ask questions of the lateral hires to make sure that they're qualified and the skill set that they're looking for in the police department is met. So that's what Patrick will be doing.
Will it solely be, it'll just be him, correct? Because he's your liaison?
He's my liaison, but it's also a combination with the, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, the chief of police, the secretary of the commission board. Who else is on the,
Well, what Patrick's actual job would be is, he sits with the commission, and what he does is oversee the entire process of the interview process. Is actually an assessment. He'll oversee how the commissioners deliberate, and then he'll oversee the scoring of all the candidates who go on there. Does not report to the board, he does not report to the police chief, he reports directly to the mayor.
and based on the chief's reading of the contract, he is entitled to ask questions also?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And did you say that was in collaboration with who again? So the chief of police, did you say
Chief
Tony
of
Periwinkle?
police, chief of police, Patrick Washington. Michael, who else sits on that to ask questions? For the lateral hires.
I'm not sure exactly.
There's three, I think the deputy's on it.
Administration and training officer.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, Ricky Smith, the administration and training
It's
officer.
all internal, though?
That's all internal, correct.
Okay, okay.
He's just our eyes and ears for the mayor's office, and he's entitled to ask questions
Okay.
of those candidates.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
I just have one more. A lateral hire would be if someone, say, an Oak Park police officer wanted to transfer over. That's what we mean by a lateral.
Correct,
Right.
correct.
But for a long time, that was not allowed. according to
It's,
our
it's always been in the contract. We haven't had lateral officers for quite a few years now.
It's actually under state law. They have the right to do that. And the reason you enact, you have to prove the necessity of going for a lateral hire. So the necessity is, right now, all of our training academies for police officers are closed due to COVID. So even if we were hiring new police officers, only one academy, and it's all the way down in southern Illinois.
You have to be careful. That's where I'm from.
Well, I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying it's a long way to go, and then the city has to not only provide the housing down there, the housing and board, room and board,
I'm telling you.
but you have to send them to the academy down there, and there's only one, which is limited seating. So many departments throughout the state of Illinois are doing the same process of a lateral hire. And a lateral hire just means that they're already certified police officers, and they're gonna try to move from one department to another. A lot of times they come from very small departments, where there's not much upward mobility, so now's an opportunity. They still go through the rigorous, the same vetting process that we use. The difference is instead of a written test, we use an assessment. And the assessment is done by the professionals who know what they're looking for as certification.
And this is also signed off on by the Police and Fire Commission.
Well, it's on our rules and regs, yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we've had it in there for some time.
No, their actual hire is also part of your work as the commission.
It'll always, the only people that can hire a police officer is the commission. So the commission is still, everything has to go through the commission. It goes back, once the assessment's done, it goes back to the normal process of doing a background investigation, polygraph, the psychological profile, and a pre-employment physical.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Okay?
I will make the motion to concur with Mayor Lavero's appointment of Patrick Washington as the mayoral liaison to the Commission for Lateral Hires and Police Officers.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fate, to concur with the appointment of Patrick Washington as the mayoral liaison to the Commission for Lateral Hires of Police Officers. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. You don't need to get sworn in on this one, Pat, the next one, okay? Item F4, please.
Item F4 is the appointment of Patrick Washington to the Auxiliary Review Board.
I will make that motion to approve the mayor's recommendation for Patrick Washington to the Auxiliary Review Board.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fate, to concur with the appointment of Patrick Washington to the Auxiliary Review Board. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Now, I believe we have to swear Patrick in.
Do you, Patrick Washington, having been appointed to the Auxiliary Review Board in the city of Berwyn and the county of Cook aforesaid, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the Police and Fire Commission according to the best of your abilities? Congratulations.
Congratulations, Patrick. Item I1.
Item I1 is the concurrence for probationary paramedic firefighter Kilbasa.
Could you bring-
It'll be my motion to concur with the Police and Fire Commission to hire Colin Kilbasa as probationary paramedic firefighter, which already took place. Correct? Correct.
Yeah, I believe he's already been sworn in. Is that correct, clerk?
Correct.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
would this be informational? Or no?
You still,
Okay,
until we change what we have in place, we should still vote on it.
okay.
Second.
Motion by Noack, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the hiring of Colin Kilbasa on the fire department as presented by the Police and Fire Commission. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item I2.
Item I2 is a communication from the Police and Fire Commission regarding the promotion of David Green.
It'd be my motion to concur with the Police and Fire Commission and promote David Green to the rank of sergeant.
Second.
Motion by Noack, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the Police and Fire Commission and promote David Green to the rank of sergeant. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
No.
Reardon?
Mr. Mayor, you've declared that this is just a mere formality for City Council to approve the recommendation, but it is not a formality to me or to my residents. No.
Fate?
I'd just like to say that Mr. Green was vetted by the Police and Fire Commission. We approved this 2 weeks ago to hire, and tonight is just a formality, so I'll be voting aye.
Fate is aye. Santoy? Aye. Ruiz?
Unfortunately, this is not a reflection of what's happening tonight, of opinions that were voiced here tonight, but without more clarification on how this all transpired, I'd have to abstain.
Avila?
Present.
Yeah. Did you say present?
You did?
Noack?
Aye.
4 ayes, Mayor, 2 nays, and 1 abstain and 1 present.
The present goes with the ayes. Motion carried. David?
Can I ask you to sign on this dotted line to make it official? I'm sorry I didn't catch you earlier. Yes, please, thanks. Please raise your right hand. Do you, David Green, having been promoted to the rank of sergeant for the City of Berwyn Police Department in the County of Cook aforesaid, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties as a member of the police department to the best of your ability? Congratulations.
Sergeant Green's family, come on up for pictures. It's a big family, you may have to come a little this way. Congratulations, David. Michael, would you get, it's right there. Item I3, please.
Item I3 is a communication from the Berwyn Police and Fire Commission regarding the promotion of Carl Gray.
It would be my motion to concur with the Police and Fire Commission with the promotion of Carl Gray to the rank of sergeant.
Second.
Motion by Noack, seconded by Faith, to concur with the Police and Fire Commission and promote Officer Gray to the rank of sergeant. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Reardon.
Aye.
Fate.
Aye.
Santoy. Ruiz.
Again, because I feel that there's internal breakdown in our system, how we promote, and until I can have additional information provided that I can go back to my residents and give them answers to their questions, I have to say I abstain.
Avila.
Aye.
Noack.
Aye.
7 ayes, Mayor, 1 abstention.
Motion carried. Sergeant Gray?
Can I ask you to sign this, please, on the dotted line? No. Great, thanks. Please raise your right hand. Do you, Carl Gray, having been promoted to the rank of sergeant for the City of Berwyn Police Department in the County of Cook aforesaid, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties as a member of the Police Department to the best of your ability?
I do.
Congratulations.
Just a little blood. So you know you got it.
Congratulations, Carl. Item J1, please.
Item J1 is a communication from Finance Director Benjamin Dace regarding the 2020 audit engagement letter.
It'd be my motion to allow the city to engage with GW and Associates with a fee of $66,200 to start the audit.
Second.
Motion by Fate, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the recommendation of Finance Director Dash and approve the agreement with GW and Associates for the 2020 audit for the amount of $66,200. All those in favor, on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J2, please.
J2 is a communication from Building Director Lazara regarding demolition of the 6629 West 16th Street building by North Berwyn Park District.
I'd like to make a motion that we concur with Director Lazara's request to allow demolition of 6629 West 16th Street for the North Berwyn Park District.
Second.
Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Noack, to concur with the recommendation of Director Lazara and allow the demolition of 6629 West 16th Street by the North Berwyn Park District. All those in favor, on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Ramirez?
Aye.
Reardon?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Santoy? Ruiz?
Oh, I'm sorry. Aye.
Avila?
Aye.
Noack?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. The consent agenda, please.
Be my motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Fate, seconded by Lennon, to accept the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Aldermanic committee meetings, Alderman Lennon,
Call it a chair.
Alderman Ramirez,
Call the chair.
Alderman Reardon,
Call the chair.
Alderman Fate,
Call the chair.
Alderman Santoy.
February 4th, Budget and Finance Committee meeting as previously called. That will be at 5:30.
You're correct.
Yes? Okay. Alderman Ruiz,
Call the chair.
Alderman Avila,
Call the chair.
Alderman Noack.
Call the chair, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Noack, seconded by Reardon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.